Hey guys, welcome to Lead Programmer. Today, let's look at the problem best time to buy and sell stock. So essentially, you have an array of prices where each and every element of the array tells you the price of a given stock on a given day. So your goal is to basically maximize the profit by choosing two different days such that you have a profit. If you cannot make a profit, then just return zero. So you essentially have the prices array. So if you would like to quickly think about this, there's a brute force approach where we just find pair of all the possible numbers and go through those numbers and see what the maximum profit is and return that profit. So that's an acceptable solution, but the runtime would be n square, which is not desired. So a better way should exist. So let's go through that. So let's start the iteration. So we have 7 here. Now, with only the information that we have here, we just have the stock price, which is 7. Sure, so I mean, with this information, we have no other choice. So we buy it at 7. Moving on, we see 1. Well, can we make a profit if we buy it at 7 and sell it at 1? No. What if we buy it at 1? Because 1 is less than 7, so it makes sense to buy it at 1, given we know that there are only two elements that we parse through till now, 7 and 1. So we can have a variable, let's just say buying price, and that buying price should be updated to 1. Now we come here to 5. Now, given this information 715, would it make sense to buy it at 5 when we know that we had bought it at a lower price, which is 1? No, it doesn't make sense. So our buying price still remains 1. But what if we sell it at 5? Would that make sense? Yes, it would, because then we have a profit of 5 minus 1, which is 4. So we can have a profit variable and update it to 4. Next, we have 3. Would it make sense to buy it at 3? No, it doesn't, because we already have a lower price, which is 1. So let the buying price remain 1. Would we want to sell it at 3? Let's see. What's the profit if we sell it at 3? It is 3 minus 1, which is 2. Now, is 2 greater than the profit we would have made when we sold it at 5? No, it is not. So it doesn't make sense to sell it at 3 because our profit is already 5 minus 1, which is 4. Moving on, would it make sense to buy it at 6? Absolutely not. What if we sell it at 6? If we sell it at 6, then the profit would be 6 minus 1, which is 5. And 5 is greater than the profit we had before, which was 4. So in this case, we update our profit to be 4. Or sorry, 6 minus 1, which is 5. Next, would it make sense to buy the stock at 4? Absolutely not, because we already have a lower price, which is 1. Would it make sense to sell it at 4? Let's see. 4 minus 1 is 3, but 3 is greater than the output that 3 is greater than the profit that we have, which is 5. So, since 3 is less than 5, we don't update the profit variable. And there you go. At the end, we just return the profit that we had, which is 5. So to summarize this, we essentially want to have a variable called buying price, where buying price is essentially the lowest number you encounter while you parse through the array. And the logic behind that is because we want to buy the stock at the lowest available price. And at each step, we check, can we update the buying price variable? If we cannot update the buying price variable, it implies that the number we are looking at would result in a profit. So there we try to calculate the profit. And is that profit greater than the overall profit that I currently have? It's something like finding the maximum profit. So if it if the profit we are currently calculating is greater than the overall profit that we have, then we update the overall profit variable in order to store the maximum profit that we have. And there you go, that's the logic. If we apply the same reasoning here, we see that in each step the price decreases. So in each step we keep updating the buying price variable, and there isn't any step where we calculate the profit because it doesn't meet our criteria. We want buying price to be updated first. And if the buying price is not updated, that means we are encountering a profit, and that's when we calculate the profit. So in this case, we never get a chance to calculate the profit, and therefore we return the defaulted profit, which is 0. So I hope you guys understood this. So let's begin coding. So as discussed, let's just have a variable called buying price, and we set it to the first element of the prices array. And again, here the assumption that's given is the prices array would have at least one price, and there wouldn't be any negative prices in the array. In an interview, if that's not explicitly stated, make the assumption or write code which handles that case. Next, we also have an overall profit variable. Let's just set it to 0. Only if I could spell profit correctly. Okay, awesome. Next, we want to go through the entire array as we went through in the example we saw. And we don't want to look at the first element because the first element is already defaulted to the buying price. We have no other choice when we go for the first time. So we start parsing it through the second element, which can be done like so in Python. And it's pretty similar or probably easier in other languages. In, for example, in Java or C++, we just start I from 1 in our case. So we have the prices there. Awesome. Then again, as we discussed, we have to see if we can update the buying price, if the buying price gets lower. So in order to do that, we have a check where we do if prices at I is less than the buying price. If it is less than the buying price, then we can update the buying price to be prices at I. If it isn't, that means we would be encountering a profit. So we want to see if that profit is greater than the overall profit. So we want to see if the profit that we encounter is greater than the overall profit, which is stored in profit. Now, to calculate the profit, it's just the current price we are at, so which is prices at I minus whatever the buying price is. So that's the profit, the element we are currently at, and whatever the buying price variable is. Now, if that is met, then we can update our profit variable like so. So the profit would essentially be new profit, which is this, if the condition is met. And there you go. Our last step would be to return the appropriate thing, which in our case is the profit variable. So if none of these conditions are met, then the profit is defaulted to 0, as we saw in example 2. If not, then the profit keeps getting updated and we get the updated value for profit. So if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe, like, share it, and see you soon.